Good morning. I haven't done a video share for a little while. I've been a little bit busy trying to make sure that I can still offer my classes, my workshops online. And now that everything's set up, I thought take a nice little chance to talk a little bit about mornings. So I have quite literally just woken up. Well, I woke up about an hour ago. And you can tell I've still got the morning voice. And I'm outside in my garden. And those of you who've been following me for a while will know that I've talked about morning routines quite a lot, actually. There's probably some videos, if you go back a few years, about how I found having like morning structure, morning routines, morning practices really, really important for me when it came to managing my mental health, my anxiety and my depression. And I kind of realised recently there has been a little shift for me in my morning routine. And before I used to do it because I felt like if I didn't do it, then I wouldn't feel great mentally. And then there's been a shift in the last few months where actually I do it because I love it. I love my mornings. So I've not always been a morning person. Actually, you'd probably find that most of the time growing up, trying to get to work, getting up in the morning, struggled, snooze about a billion times, hate getting up. I used to leave it to the last minute, rush, and I'd literally get out the door and I'd always be really heightened. I mean, now I do have a completely different structure for work. I don't tend to start work normally until 11 because I work until late because I teach classes of an evening. And I think there's a lot of people now who are finding they are having slightly slower mornings because of the circumstances where a lot of people are working from home. And so I think it might be a really good opportunity for some people to explore the things they like to do in the morning. I think so easily we can get into this habit of the morning routine being, we must work out, we must meditate, we must do this, we must do that, we must do that. And the kind of, you must do something, you should do something, tends to take a lot of the joy out of it. And it puts more pressure on us. And I think we have enough pressure on ourselves as it is. I keep looking because there's chickens next door and I think I can hear them. So, and I guess there is an element of, you know, when I started what I do in the mornings now, there was a little bit of me that it wasn't maybe as enjoyable as it is now. And there was a little bit of persistence to kind of get into the routine of it. But mostly I enjoyed it. I was just kind of finding my way with it. So again, it's kind of balance between having, I call it gentle discipline, because discipline comes from this authoritarian, like, do this or you're bad, do this or you're naughty, or do this or you'll suffer. And no one needs that, ever. But there is a sense of like commitment and gentle discipline towards yourself. And so I think of it as like a commitment to myself to feel good and to enjoy my time. And so some of the things that I do at the moment I'm on a coaching program myself, and I'm using aspects of that as part of my morning routine. So I listen to a meditation in bed when I wake up, and then I will always either come outside if you don't have outside space, and sometimes sometimes the weather is not great. So I will just sit by a window or find a spot where I can kind of see outside. I don't actually have curtains in my bedroom. I don't like them. I like being able to see outside. I've even moved my bed. My bed's in the most random place in my bedroom. Everyone who comes around is like, why is your bed there? I just love being able to look out the window, even if it is in a random place. I love being able to be outside, connected to nature, connected to the outdoors. If I could, I'd probably live outside. It's just a little bit cold. So what I'll do in the mornings is I come downstairs, I get myself, I make some cacao. I have like ceremonial grade cacao that I get from Rosie Glow, who's my coach. I'll pop links in the bottom for Rosie. She's amazing. And then I just come and sit outside if I can. And I have a really nice spot here where I can see the sun coming up because it's bright. It's right in my eyes right now. So I'm really, really lucky. When I used to live in Brighton, I would, if it wasn't too cold, go down to the beach for that. But again, if I couldn't go out for whatever reason, or I didn't want to, I'd sit by a window where I could see where the sun would be or some kind of light. to make me feel this kind of connection beyond myself. I think it's really easy to get very wrapped up, regardless of what's going on around us. Like, this has been my experience most of my life, managing that feeling of being really caught up with the stuff that's going on in your life and in your head, and not being able to think beyond that. And so I find connecting to nature being really, really useful for that. I always have done. I think we go back years when I was a kid. I always used to want to be outside, and so I'll come out here. I've got my mat. This has become the outdoors mat because it's covered in mud and it's a mess. It's actually my mum's. She's not very impressed with it. I'll give her one of the nice mats that I've got. This is the outdoors mat that I just come and sit on, and I'll drink my cacao. And then I've got a few things that I like to do in the morning. Sometimes I only spend 15 minutes out here. Most of the time I spend a couple hours. I seem to wake up really early at the moment, like 5, 6. That's probably because I'm going to bed at like 8, 9 o'clock because I'm really tired. I think spending lots of time on screens, I'm not used to it, and it's quite tiring actually. So I'll come out here. I have a meditation that I like to do. I sometimes do a little bit of like sound work and breathing work, and I always do a little bit of physical movement, yoga practice. I'm following one of Rosie's challenges at the moment, which she has. You can sign up for free actually on her website. It's called the Star Prosperity Challenge. I'll put the link in the bottom. It's the morning, my brain doesn't work as well. And I do that in the morning, and then I'll go and have my breakfast. Sometimes I sit outside and have my breakfast, and then I'll start work. Obviously it's a Sunday. It's a bit different for me. I probably will be working because I've still got some stuff to set up for this week so that people can join the live classes that are starting tomorrow. So yeah, I just thought it'd be nice to share a little bit about what I do in the mornings. It's no different now than it has been for the last 2 months really, other than I can actually get outside. Before I couldn't get outside, it was just too cold. I had to come out a few times, but in like a coat, hat, gloves, and then like 15 minutes in I'm like, no, it's too cold, I've got to go in. But I think it's important to remember, whatever's going on around you, whatever's going on in your head, that this gentle discipline, this kind of commitment to yourself to do something that you love, and like not get too wrapped up in the things that you think you should do. If you know that doing exercise in the morning makes you feel great, then do it because it makes you feel great. I think there's a difference between doing it because you have to or you think you should. Somewhere in the middle there, like, ultimately, I'm a big believer you should just be kind to yourself, really, really kind to yourself, and do the things that make you feel good, regardless of what they are, as long as you're not hurting anyone else. Like, I kind of think whatever makes you feel good, you should do it. And getting up in the morning and doing something that makes you feel good, whether it's just sitting outside with a cup of tea, or, I don't know, having crumpets when you don't normally have crumpets. I was just thinking about what I was going to have for breakfast. Clearly I'm hungry. And one of the things that I am really, really mindful of, more now than ever, is what I consume on my phone, especially in the mornings, because what I'm exposed to in the morning tends to shape my day. So if I go straight on my phone, scroll through social media, I do it like a tiny bit. I like to like check in with what's going on and then go off and do my thing. And I mean, for years I haven't watched the news, and especially like now, you know, there is staying informed, but then there's also overload, too much. It's just not for me. I think, you know, it's not necessarily a right or wrong thing. It's whatever makes you feel good. And if you notice that when you wake up in the morning and you spend loads of time, either you sit and watch the news for an hour or you scroll through your phone, and then afterwards you feel a bit like, oof. Because to me it makes me feel anxious, actually. It always has done. And I'm just super aware of that now, and making sure that I replace that with something that I love. And even if you can't get outside, I know, you know, I'm really lucky that I've recently moved back this way and I've got a garden. Otherwise I'd be in my flat without outdoor space. And I, you know, I used to sit by the window. That would be what I'd do. I'd sit by the window, open the window, and then you kind of feel like you're outside anyway, but it's probably a bit warmer. So yeah, I just wanted to share a little bit about what I do and to offer you that idea that you don't have to do anything. But it is nice to start your day doing something that you enjoy. So whatever it is, if you can see outdoors, then do that. If you like it, have a cup of tea, spend a bit more time. If you have got a bit more time, then go for it. I know some of you have got kids at home. They could be part of it. Whatever it is, yeah, do what feels good in the mornings, even if it's just one thing, and start your day with something that helps to kind of shape the day for how you want the rest of the day to feel. So I hope you do have a lovely day, and wherever you are, the sun is shining in through your windows. Hopefully it's going to be a nice day.